Okay, so good morning, everyone. Good morning, ABM 12 and then GAS 12. So for today, we're going to discuss the chapter 1, lesson 4, which is the Philippine Socioeconomic Development in the 21st Century. So actually, I was about to skip this one and then I'll just discuss the law and supply and demand. But I think baka masya kayo. So I'll discuss this one na lang muna. Okay, so before we have the discussion, let's have a very simple and quick activity. Okay, so just type in our chat box if the following pictures or the following companies are creative or destructive for you. Okay, so yeah, I need your participation for this activity. Just type if it is creative or destructive. I guess for creative, just type C. And then for the destructive, just type D. Okay, so I just want to see the letter C and then the letter D in the chat box. Okay, let's go now. Okay, so identify if the business is creative or destructive. Okay. So for this one, is this creative or destructive? Just type C or D. Okay. Okay, so that's right. This one is creative. Okay. Next one, is this destructive or creative? Okay, so that's right, destructive. For this one, is this creative or destructive? Okay, so that's right, letter C, creative. And then for this one, is this creative or destructive? Okay, that's right. It's destructive, no, to the environment. And this one, creative or destructive? I think for this one, this one is creative. It's because it helps the community. It's not like for the pollution. I guess the destructive one is the car. No, but the business itself is, I think it's not. No, because we still need the fuels. No. This one, destructive or creative? Yes, it's creative. Home furnishing, IKEA. Creative or destructive? Yes, it's creative. Yeah, this one. Okay, so creative. Okay. So before we start the discussion, we have the following objectives. No, so the first one is we should be able. So at the end of this discussion, we should be able to review the objectives or the of the socioeconomic development program of the Philippines for the 21st century, and then the goal of Agenda 21, and then about the how sustainable development will be achieved. Okay, so it says here, no, sustainability is a catalyst of revolutionizing the way Nike Incorporated does business by innovating better solutions to create limitless future and benefits athletes, the company, and the world. Yan. So yeah, make haste, cut waste. And so parang medyo may pagka-eco-friendly din sila. So revolutionary flight night construction reduces our typical footwear waste by an average of 90%. Okay, so Panasonic, is this creative or destructive? I think it's creative, no? Yung Panasonic. Okay, so as you can see, no, we have here the following. Parang I think this is like a corporate social responsibility na ini-aim ng ng mga companies. For example, no poverty since they provide jobs to everyone, and then no hunger since merong nagpo-provide sila ng job and then may income, and then good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities responsible, consumption and production, climate action, life below water. Ayan, especially for those companies, no, na meron silang planta na diretso sa yamang tubig yung waste nila. So the company should avoid that. Life on land, peace and justice, strong institutions, partnership for the goals. Yan. So these are the samples of the global goals for the sustainable development. Okay, so what is really the Philippine Agenda 21? So, yan. So the Philippine Agenda 21, yan. Actually at the 1992 ata yun, Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro of Brazil, I think, over 160 countries. And kasama yung Philippines doon, no, pledge to pursue sustainable development as embodied in Agenda 21. Okay, so this global agenda attempted to find the balance between development fueled by the rapid integration of nations into the world economy and the impacts of this process on the environment and the society. So this is an action plan of the United Nations related to sustainable development and was an outcome of the UN Conference on Environment and Development, or UNCED, or UNCED, held in Brazil in 1992. Okay, so ayan. Yeah, so sustainable development is primarily responsibility of the governments. Okay, so long-term Philippine Development Plan, LTPDP 2000 to 25 Plan 2021. Yan, so the main agenda or Philippine Agenda 21 advocates a fundamental shift in development thinking and approach. And it departs from traditional conceptual frameworks that emphasize sector-based and macro concerns. And Philippine Agenda 21 promotes harmony and achieves sustainability by emphasizing a scale of intervention that is primarily area-based and integrated island development approaches were applicable. And then Philippine Agenda 21 advocates also people and integrity of nature at the center of development initiative. So stakeholders should integrate sustainable development in their decision-making process. Ayan, so as mentioned. So ano nga ba yung sustainable development, no, na tinutukoy ng Philippine Agenda 21? Okay, so sustainable development is derived from an image of the society and a shared vision of the development path of that society. Ayan. So this should be a combination of government, business, and civil society. So parang ano to, part siya ng corporate social responsibility. For example, habang nagpa-process yung business, habang nagma-manufacture sila, hindi dapat nila na-apektuhan yung environment, which can also affect the society. And then the government should have the rules and regulations na susundin ng business na yon, na hindi dapat nila parang kumbaga dapat nilang sundin, no? Ayan, para hindi maapektuhan yung environment as well as the society. Ayan, so sustainable development is a development that meets the need of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. Okay, so ayun, parang connected din siya sa environment. So dapat, for example, yung mga like yung paggamit ng plastic ngayon, kasi syempre nakakatulong siya for this generation, like like lagayan ng mga binibili natin, no? Pero it will affect the future generation kasi lumalala yung pollution. Ayan. Okay, so dapat yung government, yung business, and the business should work together for the sustainable development. Yeah. So again, it's a development that meets the need of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. Okay? So syempre parang rin siya, connected din siya sa environment. No, dapat hindi inaabuso ng mga businesses ang environment kasi this can affect the future generation. So ano pa ba yung mga activities ng mga businesses na that will affect the future generation? So I think siguro yung mga activities din, no, na it will affect yung mga abilities ng mga kids, like siguro yung sobrang paggamit ng technologies, na it will avoid the future generation to experience yung paglalaro sa labas. Ayan, yung parang yung physical activities, no? So dapat isa sa mga responsibility pa rin ng mga business is to promote physical activities to the kids. No, wag lang lagi gadgets. Okay, so sustainable development, life-sustaining, ayan, a viable economy, social cohesion, responsible governance, and ecological integrity. Ayan, so yon, for the business not to use the environment or the environmental resources na parang maaabuso sila, dapat meron pa ring rules and regulations ang government, no? So ayun, like yung mga wastage nila dapat nasa tamang lalagayan, no? Hindi pwedeng diretso sa dagat. Yan. So dapat chine-check din yan ng government. So merong mga government agencies na gumagawa. Okay, so if not, no, ipapasara nila yan. For example, meron ding mga, alam mo yung mga baboyan pero malapit sa community. So syempre, yung mga langaw pupunta doon and it will be not good for the health ng community na yon. So yung mga ganun pinapasara ng government. Okay, so kung makabenta man sila ng baboy ngayon, pero someday, no, sobrang polluted naman na yung lugar na yon. So it will affect yung future generation. Okay. So here we have the 7 dimensions of development. So first, the spiritual development, human development, social and cultural development, political development, economic development, and ecological development. Okay, so as you can see, no, for the spiritual development and then human development, syempre it talks about the human being. So when we say spiritual development, ayan, unless the people see and explicit acknowledge the spiritual in nature, human beings and society in the framework of development, the Filipinos can never do justice to the strong sense of the Philippine spirituality that permeates the Philippine Agenda 21. While yung human development naman, it talks about the, for example, yung mga training and developments, and then yung, ano pa ba yung mga human development? Like it, parang sa growth ng you as a person. Ayan, yung spiritual naman development, yan for example, like yung sa mga religious, also yung mental health din ng mga person na yon. No, basta it talks about the human being. While yung social development naman, and then the cultural and the political, yan, in the circle, no? So yung cultural development, dapat, for example, I think sa Korea, no, until now, suot-suot pa din nila yung dress nila, no, na parang i-chose pa rin yung love nila sa culture nila. And dapat yung government, like yung mga indigenous, dito sa Pilipinas, yung mga indigenous na mga tribes, dapat ano pa rin, tawag dito, pinipreserve or kinikip pa din siya ng government. Yan. And then, political development, about politics naman to. Like for example, maghalal tayo ng tamang tao, no? So malapit din yung election, we should vote wisely. Economic development, it talks about naman to the businesses. Ayan. So ito, lahat to may epekto sa social development ng tao, okay, sa society. So for example, pag yung economic development, ayan, which is affected din siya ng political na dapat sinusuportin ng government. So pag sa economy, yung economy natin, pag hindi ganun kaayos, so kumbaga parang affected din yung mga natin, society natin. And ecological naman, it talks about the nature and how we take care of our nature. Next is the principles of sustainable development. Okay, so here are the different principles of sustainable development under Philippine Agenda 21. So first, yung primacy of developing human potential that this puts man at the center of all development efforts. So dapat lahat ng mga naiisip nating strategies or yung business, naiisip nilang strategies or development, dapat naka-center yung human doon. Kumbaga parang dapat para sa tao yung naiisip nilang improvement. Next is the holistic science and appropriate technology implies development of appropriate technology to solve development problems with due consideration to its impact to society and ecology. So dapat kung nag-create tayo ng technology, we should also consider the society. No, for example, baka makakreate tayo ng machine, no, na it will kill all the human beings. So dapat, kumbaga, ang sinasabi dito, dapat limited pa rin yung limited at tama yung paggamit natin ng technology. Okay, dapat hindi nako-compromise pa rin yung human being. Next is the cultural, moral, and spiritual sensitivity. So this considers the inherent strength of local and indigenous knowledge, practices, and beliefs while respecting cultural diversity, moral standards, and spiritual nature of Filipino society. Okay, so pwede natin i-develop, no? Pero dapat hindi pa rin sila mawawala. Hindi natin mako-compromise or may iwanan, no, kung ano ba yung original na culture. National sovereignty, Yan, self-determination at the national level to pursue social and ecological concern in its governance to achieve human and environmental and food security. Okay, next is the gender sensitivity. And recognize the importance of complementary roles and empowerment of both women and men in development. Okay, so dapat hindi lang lagi leader ang mga lalaki. And we should also consider women, no? Kasi meron din naman silang ability. Peace, order, and national unity. Yan, we should make sure that the right of everyone to a peaceful and secure existence is respected. Okay, so yon dapat lahat may karapatan, no, para sa kapayapaan. Social justice, intra-generation equity, and then spatial equity. Okay, so equal distribution of resources to everyone, and the provision of equal access to development opportunities and benefits to all. So dapat hindi lang kaibigan ng barangay yung nakikinabang sa mga projects or sa mga ayuda or anything. Dapat lahat, no? Hindi pwedeng yung mga VIPs lang, hindi pwedeng yung mga upper class lang. Dapat everyone should have an equal access or opportunities for the natural resources. Next is the participatory democracy, puts value and support to the participation of all in the decision-making process. Okay? For example, yung pagboto, no? Lahat tayo merong participation sa kung anong magiging kalalabasan ng Pilipinas, kung sino mang iboboto natin. Okay? So yon, isa sa example no, yung participatory democracy. Institutional viability. Ayan, since everyone's concerned, institutional structure should promote joint responsibility, unity, and partnership among all. Yan. Next is the viable, sound, and broad-based economic development. Requires working for the development that is based on stable economy, where everyone equally shares the benefit of the progress. Okay, so yun nga, dapat kahit yung mga poor ay nararamdaman nila yung economic development. No? Sustainable population. Yan, so needs to maintain a number of people. Yan, that can be supported by the limited capacity. So yun, sustainable population ba yung nasa Pilipinas? No? So as long as yung number dapat ng population swak doon sa sa limited resources ng bansang yon. Ecological soundness requires that we recognize the earth as the common heritage that belongs to all of us, and everyone should care for its capacity to support us in the future and the future generation. So again, dapat hindi lang dapat yung present yung nakikinabang for the environment, as well as dapat yung future generation. So dapat hindi natin putulin yung puno, no, kasi makikinabang naman tayo ngayon. So how about the future generation? Next is the biogeographical equity and the community-based resources or resource. Yan. So means entrusting to the people residing near or within the ecosystem that the primary right to manage its resources. So yon, yung mga community na malapit sa natural resources na yun, dapat pangalagaan nila yun. Okay? And parang it's their responsibility. For example, ikaw yung tapat mo, linisin mo, di ba? Okay, next, global cooperation requires international solidarity of every nation's effort to build a better life and safer environment. Okay, so for example, yung simpleng pag-alaga lang sa natural resources, Yan. Nakakatulong ka na rin sa sa kalagayan ng um, mundo. Yan. For example, yung pag hindi na natin paggamit ng plastic, ayan, malaking tulong din siya. Paggamit lang ng eco bag, okay na rin yun. No? Parang we also can avoid using paper bags. Parang mas better talaga kung eco bag eh. No? Kasi syempre pag yung mga paper bags kasi, di ba, nagka-cut pa rin sila ng trays. Pero pag eco bag, which is recycled naman, parang mas okay yun, di ba? So, Philippine Agenda 21 Vision. So, ano ba yung visions ng Agenda 21? So, the Philippine Agenda 21 envisions a better quality of life for all Filipinos through the development of a just, moral, and creative, spiritual, and economically vibrant, caring, diverse, yet cohesive society characterized by appropriate productivity, democratic process, and living in harmony. So first, yung poverty reduction. So yun, parang 2000 to 2025 ata to. Agenda 21. Ayan, poverty reduction. So dapat parang ini-aim nila no na mabawasan ang kahirapan. At to make sure na yung mga nasa poor class makasabay no sa development ng economy. Yan. Actually no, madalas natin 'to nakikita eh. Yan, social equity. Okay? So, yun. Parang sinasabi dito no, not all people are in the same boat. 'Di ba? Parang yun yung sinasabi. Na kumbaga parang as you can see dito sa equality, para sila ng binigay na na box, no? Pero meron pa rin hindi kayang abutin yung parang goal nila. And then equity naman, no, giving the right resources para ma-achieve nila yung yung goal nila. So I think for example sa mga classes din or upper middle and class, for example magbibigay tayo ng ayuda tigpo 4K. Ayan, for some people it will not be enough kasi mali mo nawalan ng work yun. And then for some swak na yun, no, kasi baka may job sila that time. Okay, so I guess the government should consider also the equity. Okay. So for example, aside from giving ayuda for the poor, no, they can also provide another job for those who lost their job. Like para lang makasurvive dun sa pandemic. Kasi not all, 'di ba, have the same have the same backups, no? Okay, do you get this one? I think madalas tong nakikita sa sa Facebook, no? And equality doesn't mean equity. Yan. For example, lahat kayo binigyan ng the same opportunities. Parang lahat kayo may opportunity naman to look for job, pero not all merong not all, no, merong the same backups. The next one is the empowerment and good governance. So this talks about the consensus-oriented, accountable, transparent, responsive, equitable, and inclusive, effective, and efficient. Follows the rule of law and then participatory. Parang itong good governance, sa mga business to eh. Kung meron silang social responsibility and good governance. Okay, so and they should be transparent then and accountable. Okay, what else? No, kasi when we say kasi empowerment, it is a precondition of informal choices. And then pag good governance naman, empowerment is to good governance. Yan. Necessary for the precondition of to empowerment, as empowerment is to the good governance. Okay, so parang aside from you have the authority, you should have the good governance. Kumbaga parang hindi natin ina-abuse yung power na meron tayo, and aside from that, no, it's because na meron tayong authority, it's the opportunity for us to kumbaga parang use it in the good way. Peace and solidarity. Ayan, magkaroon na ng kapayapaan, parang ganun. And we already know that, the peace and then the solidarity. Ecological integrity. It's about the environment. Okay, so parang to summarize all in all, ayan, the Philippine Agenda 21, stakeholders should integrate sustainable development in their decision-making process. So, yan, ano nga ba yung stakeholders? Like the community, the government, the business, the society, no? Should integrate sustainable development in their decision-making process, especially for the government and then for the business. So when we say sustainable development, yan, under this is the spiritual, human, social, political, cultural, economic, and ecological development. So dapat pag nag-creating tayo ng mga development, ang sinesenter natin ay yung human. So we all do this for the human beings. So pag sinesenter natin yung human, syempre alagaan natin ang environment kasi it will affect the human beings. And then for the business, no? Syempre kaya naman sila nagbi-business is for the human beings or for the humans. And then ayan, for the political, they do their best, no? Kasi for the humans. And then Philippine Agenda 21 visions, yan. Syempre poverty reduction, social equity, not just equality, empowerment and good governance among the government and as well, especially the businesses. And then peace and solidarity, and then ecological integrity. I guess yung ecological integrity natin medyo nagiging maayos nowadays. Kasi yun nga parang na-push nila na gumamit na ng paper bags, not plastic, to most businesses. Parang wala ng plastic bag ngayon. And so the Philippine Agenda 21 analysis. And analyze the vision of the Philippine Agenda 21. Choose one vision, then write what has been the progress or there really progress on it here in our country. Okay, so I'll just put it in the essay. Okay, any question? Okay, I think wala kayong question. Okay, so let's have a quick break, like 10 minutes. Then go back here by 10:55, I think. Okay, so